I'm gonna put my hair down while it's loading. Sorry, I was just putting up my hair, and I'm gonna give it like a minute before I go into talking. Hi, Jane. So, before I get really into the point, I would like to share the context of why I'm doing this video. So on JCO's thing, somebody commented like, it's on you choose what you believe. Some people believe that you don't choose what you believe. So, and on one of JCO's videos, I said like, why do you believe that? And as I engaged with it, she was like, oh, you're a former debater. I remember you. I'm not going to engage with you. Which, I mean, that is their choice to say that. And that's perfectly all right. It's just felt very confusing. Anyways, then other people were engaging with me. They were like very set on belief isn't a choice. And they were getting hung up on whether or not convincing is a choice, being convinced of something. So I'm going to kind of like go through kind of the three. I had a similar Mickey Mouse shirt. Yeah, I got it from Walmart. It's very nice. But there are three types of choices that determine your beliefs. The first one is the choice from ignorance. These are the people who will not even look at the other side because they think that their position is right. You often see these in younger children or people who just like the first thing that they come across. They make a choice from ignorance. They don't have the full picture. Next up, we got people who choose with closed-mindedness. Hi, Pac-Man. The people who choose from closed-mindedness, they already have it in their mind what they believe, and any evidence that is presented against them, they immediately like reject it because they think that they are right. These are the type of people who usually tend to use ad hominem responses when you bring up evidence or when you get a good point that undermines their position, their perspective. These are also the people that, in my experience, they never would admit when there's a good point on the other side. They would just, they already have it in their mind what it is, what their perspective is, and that's the only perspective that can be right, and everybody else is wrong. These people tend to be in a bit of an echo chamber. So that's, sorry, that was really weird comment, Heavenly. So that threw me off track. Anyways, that's choosing with closed-mindedness. Your choice is what you don't even want the other choice. You don't even want the, like, I've seen this often in people online who say that they've looked at different pieces of scripture, they found something they disagreed with, and ever since from that moment, they would immediately be like, yep, it's wrong. Are you a Christian? I am. Saw your hair move? My hair's moving. And it wouldn't surprise me because my hair is weird. My hair is genuinely weird. Anyways, to move on to the last choice that a person can have that determines their beliefs is the choice of open-mindedness. These are people who engage with discussions that are rooted in better understanding the other perspective. These are the people who will not resort to insults when like there's points that undermine their position. These are the people that's like, yeah, I can see why someone would think like that. And it's not necessarily you agree with the person, because if you look at the definition of open-mindedness, nowhere in it is agree. It's just like you're receptive to what is being said. So that is choosing open-mindedness. And all of these things determines whether or not you accept or reject either looking at the evidence or accepting a piece of evidence or an argument as acceptable or sufficient. And in that, that's how you're convinced. I did all of that in 5 minutes. I was expecting like a 30-minute ramble. So there's that. So I opened up my computer. Now I'm going to read one of this person's response. So this person says, one might use words that suggest they choose to refuse it, but what it ultimately means is that it was insufficient to convince them. The fact you need to convince someone of something is evidence that it's not a choice. I would rather have chicken breast. I love chicken breast better than drumsticks. Mainly because I can make it a chicken patty and just be like... and for that, it's honestly such an eye roller, because the definition of belief that I'm using is Merriam-Webster definition 3, which is conviction of the truth of some statement or the reality of some being or phenomenon, especially when based on examination of evidence. Now this is not solely confined to examination of evidence, which is why I include the choice of ignorance, where you choose not to look at any of that. The word conviction, I'll actually show you guys the specific thing. It says conviction of the truth of some statement or the reality of some being or phenomenon, especially when based on examination of evidence, like I was saying. Now, the definition for conviction, and this is honestly kind of funny, because it was like the strong persuasion or belief, the state of being convinced. So now we're going to look at what convinced means. Welcome back, your local publisher. Convince means to bring, as by argument, to believe, consent, or a course of action. To kind of summarize, it means convince is to bring through argument to believe in this specific scenario. And to bring to belief is what we're using. So in the definition, conviction of the truth, it means to bring to belief of the truth of some statement or the reality of some being or phenomenon, especially when based on examination of evidence. So that is like through arguments and stuff, and sometimes that's going to be like you were raised in it and you were never taught to think differently, or you encountered people who have different perspectives than your own and you find that their points were, in your mind, sufficient. You decided it was sufficient to convince you. Now let's look at choose, because that's the big thing. You choose what you believe. That's the big thing that I'm going for. And we have a couple different definitions we can use. We have to select freely after consideration, to decide on especially by vote, to have a preference for, decide. So essentially, like, you have something and you're like, ooh, I want chocolate, or I want vanilla, or I just want ice cream just in general. So when you choose whether or not a piece of evidence is sufficient or is insufficient, then in that you are choosing what you believe. Like you say, oh, this piece of evidence is insufficient, and guess what? You have to list your reasons why to have a logical discussion. And this is not saying you can't change your beliefs, because more often than not, you're going to find different pieces of arguments or pieces of evidence, or you might have a different mindset than what you used to have, and then you reach a different conclusion, and that's perfectly all right. And a good example of this are the people who say that the earth is flat. Not to go after flat earthers, but they say that the earth is flat. So that is directly contradicting a lot of other evidence out there, but I forgot where I was going with this. They say, oh, I don't want to look at the evidence, or that evidence is insufficient, but we all know that that's the truth. We all know the roundness of the earth, that the earth is round. The roundness of our humble abode of this rock. But they say, nope, that's not true. They're choosing that they're choosing to believe, or they're choosing to reject the evidence that the earth is round and choosing to believe that the earth is flat. And even in this discussion, I say, keep in mind, I'm like talking with people on YouTube about this. I say, even as you're reading through the comments, or if you're listening to what I'm saying now, you are making the choice to say, I agree with this, I don't agree with this, or these points are sufficient enough to say that you can choose what you believe, or these points are insufficient and you don't choose what you believe. Ultimately, that's a choice to go through that process, that's a choice to reach that conclusion, and therefore you do choose what you believe. Now, I can understand why some people would say you don't choose what you believe. I can see the points in that, because I don't see myself as a closed-minded person. I don't see myself choosing to be closed-minded, because I can see why the people on the opposing side would say such things. But I just think that choosing to believe that you don't choose what you believe is an illogical thing, which in the discussion on the YouTube comments, the person literally was like, that alone says that you can't choose what you believe. And I'm just like, thinking to myself, no, I never said that. Whether or not a belief is logical is an entirely different discussion. People choose to believe flat earth is real. Is that is it logical to say that that belief does not exist, even though we have so many people who believe it does exist? No, it's not logical. Is the belief itself logical? No. Does that mean that the belief does not exist? No, the belief still exists. It's just illogical or even false. Sometimes I want to go onto a Jubilee, but I know that they're going to pick specifically controversial people to put on the panel, and I don't want to deal with controversial people in person, because I tend to get a little annoyed when those controversial people show their controversial nature in the way of putting people down, interrupting people, be condescending, all of that sort of thing. Because I find when that happens to me, when people try to act more high and mighty, when in reality we are all on the same level, we are all people who are learning. When I find that people act high and mighty like that, it makes me kind of like, wow, okay. And that attitude starts to show. Which I don't want that, not until I can really make sure that I can maintain a professional conversation, but I wouldn't be opposed to going on to an episode of Jubilee. Now I'm going to just leave it open for discussion. To be honest, I was thinking about maybe kind of hosting a little YouTube class of how to debate. Honestly, I might do that. That would be kind of cool. So, if you guys would be interested, I might make a community post on it. I think I will. Be interested in me teaching how to debate, I will start doing stuff for that. I have to do specific amounts. I don't fill it up all the way. This is not like overly sweet, but it has to be a specific amount because the specific amount I need is barely too much compared to that little tiny laundry detergent lid. So that was such a mouthful of a sentence. So I think I just had like the most brilliant idea. I write a book on how to debate like the essentials of it. I'm trying to make your own syrups for the soda stream. Now the only thing I would want to know how to make would be my own Dr. Pepper. But that is such a hard recipe, and as long as I have a good Dr. Pepper alternative, I should be okay. I've been getting better about drinking less pop, but Amazon sent me the wrong syrup multiple times, so then I went to regular pop, and then just like how it went with regular pop in the past, I immediately spiraled back into insanely unhealthy habits with this. So I went really far back with my journey, but it's okay because I'm trying to be better now, and I'll keep pushing forward and doing the best I can. But I think I will make it an actual thing. So, if nobody has any questions, comments, concerns, then I think I might head out. Jesus is a way to true peace, trust me. Amen to that, disciple time. Amen. Sorry. I just love people talking about Jesus being the way, the truth, and the life. He is the life of all of us, and he saved all of us. And honestly, he gives me so much joy. I try not to be too crazy with it, but he really does give me so much joy. And he knows what's best for me. He actually has guided me to a path where I'm happy with a lot of things, and it's just absolutely amazing. So I think I will actually make a book on debating so people can learn how to debate. And that would be kind of really helpful to those who want to start doing it. And then I'll make the book, but then I'll start hosting classes. That is so true. I've encountered my own after I've gotten free. I've been more on fire than the Lord than ever. So that is so true, disciple time. What you can expect here on my channel is a lot of all over the place things. But there's also a lot of Christ-centered things on my channel too. So that's what you can expect on my channel. I see that you're a disciple time and you're preaching about Jesus. So I just want to make sure you knew what to expect coming into my channel. And if you find that to be enjoyable, then you can sub or not, or you could just watch. It really don't matter to me because I don't care about the sub count. The only thing that I'm concerned with is making it a community where people, even people who disagree with me, people who don't follow Christ and even follow other religions or no religion at all, people who are opposite sides politically, they can come and feel welcome. So as long as they're respectful and kind. So I do know that there are a lot of people who would like to learn how to debate better, if you will, or just find better ways of persuasion. So I think that would be a nice little project for me to do to help keep me busy so I'm not playing Minecraft all the time. That's also something I like to do, just ramble. And I like jokes. So I'm actually going to end it in 4 minutes at 4:15 my time, because I don't really want to kind of make this a long live stream unless I was doing something specifically. Oh, I got 2 notifications. I'm going to look at that after I create a poll. So I made a comment on a post about the best moments police versus angry Karens, and I was at about a minute in it, and my comment is, I am this far in and I can already tell this video is going to have people who act like 6-year-olds who didn't get their 5th piece of candy. I didn't mean that to put them down. It was just like literally, at this point, the woman was crying because she had food in her car. And she hit the person in front of her because he was sitting. He wasn't moving. And she was literally screaming and yelling and jumping up and down. This was like a 30-year-old woman jumping up and down on the sidewalk. And I'm just like, that is not to put them down. That's just, I got 2 more minutes and then I am gonna head out. Oh, 2 people said yes already. Oh, that's really sweet. So, one key thing I'm going to teach is be kind as much as you can. We're not always going to be perfect. I know there's been plenty of times I was not perfect in being kind to the other side. But if the more kind you are and the more crazy that they'll get in their responses, and you're just like, okay, I'll still choose kindness and love, they will. Oh, your dog just died? Oh, I'm sorry. Shout out to your local publisher's dog. I'm so sorry. Shout out to Lily the dog. It's fine. Just imagine Lily running through a big field, being all happy and having all of her needs taken care of. Because that's where she's at right now, being taken care of by the Creator. And how do I know that? One, I had a dream about it. I have to go and want to see it. Oh, in the field. Like, are you saying go as in go from Earth? Or go as in, like, you just want to get off of the street? Go. Oh, I know it's really hard when you lose a pet. I have recently gone through a couple myself, like a couple of years ago. It's not easy. It really isn't. And I don't mean to start crying on here, but it hurts. You have to go to the morgue place. Don't worry, feel. Yeah. But I know that the only thing that's on your mind is being back with your pet. So just keep pushing through. I know it's hard. I can tell you this. I have had dreams. I had this one dream that really recently when the dog that I've known for years, he died at age 13. He was just old. But I had this dream. It was in a place that was very bright. And there was a woman with blonde hair who was taking care of him, giving him all the food, making sure he was okay. And that's how I know he went to heaven. And that's how I know our pets go to heaven. So you can know that your Lily is in heaven. And you will see her again. I did not mean to start falling on here. I actually have a picture of the dog that I'm talking about. I just have to find me iPad. Because the dog in question is saved. Hi Pumbaa. We're talking about dogs dying. And I was sharing how I had a dream where my dog was in heaven. And this was the dog in question. This is an old picture of the dog that had passed away a couple of years ago. So you can know that your pet is in heaven and having the most amazing time and is at peace. Even if your dog was cranky like that dog was, literally yelling at every single other pet that was in the home. So that was loud. I keep my hearing aids a little louder sometimes, but even without that, sometimes things feel too loud. So how's everyone doing? Other than that, like, really depressing conversation, but also kind of hopeful and looking forward to when we all go up to heaven. Good, I just got off of work. Yeah, I was off of work today, and I go back tomorrow. I forgot what I'm working. But I'll look real quick after I get off the stream. So, was work busy today? I know, at least where I'm at, Tuesday is not a busy day. But it's also, we're getting close to Halloween. So that might make it a little more intense. There we go over here. Oh, fun. Rent is awesome. Not really. I was being very sarcastic with that. So if no one else has anything they want to talk about or ask, then I think I might head out. But I'll give it another 4 minutes just in case someone pops in and is like, hey, I want to know something. Never mind, hasn't dropped in yet. I feel you. You like, is it coming in yet? Is it coming in? It got canceled. Oh, that's sort of mixed. One, because when you're going through grief, you kind of just want to stay home and cry and curl up in the corner and not do anything. But then you're also not going to see, which is kind of sad. So. I am right now, yeah. So, there's that. If you ever want someone to talk to or to vent, you always have the YouTube channel. There's also the group chat for the Discord. It doesn't have so many people keeping eyes on it right now. There's like, I want to say there's a total of 5 people in there right now. What's your necklace? It is... right now to see her. Oh, wow. The necklace is an amethyst thing. I can actually take this off because it isn't one of those complicated necklaces that you only have a little slit to try to fit the entire chain through. But this necklace is an amethyst. It's gold plated. My boyfriend gifted it to me. He knows that amethyst is my birthstone. Please don't go, your local publisher. I can't see where I'm putting my finger. Your local publisher, if you're still here, I know it's really hard, and I know that nothing can ever replace the feeling that you went through, or like all the feelings you had with Lily, but there's so many other things in life that you can look forward to. Thank you, Pumbaa. I was not about to interrupt me being a sympathetic person because someone is being immature, but there are so many other fulfilling things in life that, yes, the loss of a pet is hard, but there's other things to look forward to. And that's not saying that Lily wasn't special, because she certainly was. It's just saying that you can find a new purpose in God. Just don't care. So keep going. It's not easy right now. It's not going to be easy for a long time to come. As you saw earlier, I was crying from missing my dog. But you will find happiness in a new purpose. Your local publisher, just give it some time, okay, before you do anything. So tell yourself, you think life is worth living because of your family still growing and you can care for your family. There's a whole other perspective to look at this. I know you want to join her again. If you were to leave Earth, if you were to kill yourself to do that, the pain is not going to disappear. That pain is actually going to go onto your family. Do you really want to put your family through that pain just so you can be with her a little sooner? Or do you think you can at least wait? Wait a little longer and see if you can be okay. Okay enough to keep going. So, I've been trying to tell him to not kill himself because he's been missing his dog, Lily, so much. I've been trying to make sure that he can keep going. He keeps going because I know that God has a purpose for him. So, he is in a lot of pain right now, but he just needs to keep going just a little bit more. He's alive. Thank goodness. God does have a purpose for him. It's not easy for anyone who's going through anything. But if you are his mom, then you need to be there for him and give him love and support. And I know that you're probably grieving too. But the only way that you will be able to keep him is if you guys come together as a family and get through this together as a family and be with him. Be with him, show him love. Have a blessed day, and I hope everything goes as smoothly as it can. Hey, are you on? No, I am not. Wow. I was not expecting all of that to happen. I'm taking my deep breaths because I feel a lot from what just happened. Guys, we should keep your local publisher in our prayers. He's going through a hard time. And we should keep his family in our prayers too because of that hard time. Well, I'm actually gonna pray in private. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I hope you guys have a blessed day. And I'll see you guys next time.